Welcome to the recorded training for the Control Devices section of the Facility Inventory in SLEIS. In order to navigate to the Control Devices information for your facility, click the Login link at the Welcome screen and type in your SLEIS user account credentials. You will be taken to the My Facilities screen, where you can see a list of all the facilities your account has been linked to. Some SLEIS users may only have one facility linked to their account, while others may have multiple facilities linked to their account. Click the Open button under the Actions heading on the right side of the screen for the facility you would like to view information for. Once you click the Open button, you will be brought to the My Report screen. This report screen will list all the emission reports that are available for you to view or submit for once the DNR has created the report. In this case, we are looking at the 2016 emissions report, and you will notice the status is in process. Upon first logging in and viewing your 2016 emissions report, a button with a play icon will be listed. This indicates the report has not yet been started. Click this button to begin working on your emissions report. In this case, the emissions report has already been started, so the status is in process. Once you click the Open button on the My Report screen, you'll be taken to the 2016 emissions report screen for the facility. At this screen, you will be able to view the facility inventory and the emissions report. This screen allows the user to view or edit information related to the facility, release points, control devices, emission units, unit processes, and emissions. Click the Control Devices button to update information related to control devices at your facility. After clicking the Control Devices button, a listing of control devices at your facility will appear on the screen. This screen allows you to sort by identifier, control measure, and control device status. The default setting for the display of control devices is in ascending order. Click the identifier header and the control devices will be listed in descending order. In the upper right corner of the screen, there's a filter box. If your facility has a large number of control devices, you can use the filter box to save time when navigating directly to a control device you would like to update. Simply type in the control device identifier or control device description, and SLEIS will shorten the list of control devices to those that have matching results to the criteria you enter in the filter box. You also have the ability to add a control device at your facility if you have the editor role. Having the editor role allows you to edit information related to control devices. To add a control device, click the Add button in the lower right corner of the screen. You must provide the control device identifier for the control device that you are adding. Throughout the SLEIS database, required data is indicated by a red bar on the left side of the data field. The database will not let you save the record you are on until all required fields have been data entered. When naming the identifier for your control device, please be consistent with the way the construction permit was issued for the control device. In other words, please reference the cover letter of your construction permit for the equipment to obtain the correct identifier. Once you make a successful save for the control device, the identifier will not be able to be edited in the future. So make sure the identifier that you use is one that the facility would like to permanently have. Next, you need to select a description for the identifier. Please be consistent with the description that was used on the cover page of the construction permit that was issued for this piece of equipment. You'll notice that the status of the control device is defaulted as operating when you first create the control device. If the status needs to be changed to permanently or temporarily shut down, the status date is then also required. SLEIS will not let you save this record if the status date is not entered when the status is permanently or temporarily shut down. The next required field for control devices is the control measure. Once a user clicks in the control measure field, there is a begin typing text message. The user then needs to start typing a control measure and select the code that best describes the control device that is being created or maintained. Once you enter the control measure code, you'll notice that each of the required data elements have been satisfied, and the user will be able to successfully save this control device. While the controlled pollutants section of SLEIS is not required to be entered, this is where the facility can take credit for emissions reductions in the emissions report. The emissions report itself does not allow the user to enter a control efficiency for pollutants. Therefore, it is highly recommended that each pollutant that is being controlled by this control device be entered under the controlled pollutants data field. If a pollutant is entered, then SLEIS will require that a control percentage be entered as well. SLEIS will not allow the user to save this record if a pollutant has been entered without an associated control percentage. For example, if PM10 is entered as a controlled pollutant and the panel filter is controlling emissions at a 90% reduction efficiency, the number should be entered as 90. Additional pollutants may be added using the Add button on the right side of the screen. Conversely, pollutants may be removed by using the Delete button to the right of each pollutant. At this point, the user may click the Save button in the lower right corner of the screen. SLEIS will notify the user if the changes were successfully saved or if there are any validation errors associated with the control device. On the Additional Information tab, the information displayed is the data related to control devices that was migrated from SPARS to SLEIS that was considered to have value-added information to stakeholders or DNR air quality staff. However, none of these data fields are required to be reported. Once the user is done updating the information for the control device identifier, you can click the Back button to navigate back to the list of control devices at the facility. You'll notice under the Actions heading, there are two buttons for each control device. I am logged in as an editor for this facility. Therefore, I have the right to edit any of the control device information that I choose. If I only have a viewer role for the facility, I would only see the View button, and the Edit button would not be displayed. The rights each user has in SLEIS are completely dependent upon the role that is indicated on the SLEIS Electronic Reporting Registration Form. In order to edit a control device, the user would click the Edit button under the Actions heading for the control device they are interested in maintaining. The business rules of SLEIS that apply while a user is in edit mode are the same as when a user is creating a new identifier. This concludes the recorded training for the Control Devices section of the Facility Inventory in SLEIS.